Hey folks, Jimmy here, aka Palette of the Dead. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the latest issue of Warhammer 40k Imperium magazine. Now, as per usual with all these videos, if you like them, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and of course, drop a comment down below. I love hearing back from you guys, and it goes a massive way to help the channel too. Now, with this issue, we're on issue 29 of Imperium magazine. We get the remainder of our good old Necron warriors and the final Scarab Swarm. Hopefully everybody's had the correct sprue. I have this time round, which is quite nice. I know some people have had issues where they've not had the correct bases, and they've only had the one for the Scarab Swarm and they're missing the ones for the actual warriors themselves. I know a couple of people who have had no bases for their Scarab Swarms and only the ones for the warriors, and I know some people that have had no bases whatsoever. So there are some packing issues obviously going on. If you have got a packing issue with your issue, so if you're missing a base or anything like that, get in touch with Hatchet Partworks and they will get it sorted for you. Just let them know, give them your details, they'll ask for your address, and away you go. Into the issue itself, we are greeted by more information about the Forge Worlds, and this one being Mars. So, the birthplace of the cult Mechanicus, the red planet is the foundation stone of the Adeptus Mechanicus and one of the holiest sites in the entire galaxy, second only to Terra. Mars' tech priests see themselves as the most blessed of the machine god's followers, to which all other Forge Worlds must pay the greatest respect. So, the zealotry of Mars' tech priests is heralded by the constant buzz of static psalms, their obedient warriors chanting holy rites and giving praise to the Omnissiah as they march forward to battle. Mars maintains its status as the first and therefore greatest of the Forge Worlds of the Adeptus Mechanicus by continually colonising distant worlds rich in resources, launching explorator fleets to the furthest fringes of the Imperium and raising monumental forged temples to the glory of the machine god. So, with the Cult Mechanicus and the Adeptus Mechanicus and stuff like that, with the kind of the cohorts of the Skitari, they are the iconic colouring. So they are red robed, they are the soldiers of Mars, they bear the finest equipment forged by humanity's greatest artisans and blessed by the tech priests of the Cult Mechanicus. There are, of course, other Forge Worlds that you can have, including ones that utilise blue robes, cream robes, black robes, pretty much anything, or you can make your own, entirely up to you, but a nice bit of lore to do with the actual Adeptus Mechanicus. So, the sigil of Mars is the skull in the side of a cog, which takes its inspiration from the cog Mechanicum, the holy symbol of the Adeptus Mechanicus. The skull and cog represent the fusion of flesh and machine that is central to the beliefs of the Cult Mechanicus. Mars' Skitari legions bear this symbol proudly upon their robes, for it demonstrates their absolute loyalty to the Red Planet. So, nice bit of information and lore about the Adeptus Mechanicus and the Forge World itself of Mars, which is pretty damn cool and quite interesting as well to have a read through and have a bit more info if you are into your Adeptus Mechanicus. Really, really good stuff. Then we get information about one of the other factions of the 41st millennium, and this is the Genestealer cults, who are amongst the most insidious threats to the Imperium. The Genestealer cults are a corruption of humanity. Tainted by alien genetic material, they seek to destroy the Imperium from within, rising up as one to seize control and slaughtering any loyal Imperial citizens who stand in their way. So the Genestealer cults are a kind of a mixed hybrid of alien DNA and human DNA. So they are very, very unusual. Some of them have 3 arms or more, some of them have some pretty cool looking weapons, and some very unique looks to them as well. So we get a little bit more information and kind of a look of them here. So we have the second generation. So the second generation of Genestealer cult hybrids are monstrous, heavily deformed creatures whose alien blood is abundantly oblivious to all. The third generation, whilst their bodies still betray some signs of their alien origin 3rd generation hybrids can pass as human and infiltrate Imperial society, so they're a little bit more subtle in their genetic mutations. And the 5th generation, which is the final generation born to the gene cult, revert to Genestealer forms. They will spread out across the galaxy and begin the cycle once more. So the 5th generation are kind of a little bit more unusual. They generally have a few more limbs than they probably should, and they do look fully alien in all honesty. There are also other versions. So there are the Acolyte hybrids, which can have some very unusual wielding of weapons and improvised weapons as well, and will generally look a little bit more unusual. So for instance, the image that was on there has 3 arms, for instance. And then there are the Neophyte hybrids as well, so wielding mining equipment and stolen weaponry. 3rd generation cultists form fighting units as Neophyte hybrids, so they are of the 3rd generation more than anything, which is quite interesting as well to see. Majority of the hybrids of the Genestealer cults are bred just for warfare and not much more than that. They are quite resilient, they have inhuman strength, and they are just bizarre to look at more than anything. But quite interesting stuff. If you're into your 40k and you want a bit more lore and find out a bit more information about other factions, Genestealer cults are a pretty cool one, and a bit of an unusual one as well, which I must admit, where I am, don't see a lot of Genestealer cults going on in my local game stores or anything like that, but really, really good stuff. Then we have more information about our forces of the Space Marines, and this is fire support. So Space Marines who serve in the fire support squads wield heavy weapons designed to sow death and destruction amongst the enemy ranks, allowing the chapter's battle line squads to advance and secure their objectives. So the battle line squads are kind of your standard good old assault intercessors that we've had before. The fire support can include many different ways, and they are generally pretty damn cool. So there are the aggressors, which are pretty damn cool units, and heavily armoured, and can have either heavy bolters or flamethrowers or any much more stuff like that. The eliminators, which are essentially your snipers, so they are lightly armoured, but they have camo cloaks, which look pretty damn cool, and they are pretty cool and unique as well. And we do get some of these guys later on, which will be really, really good stuff. And then there are the Hellblaster squads. Also, heavily armoured, they are versatile units who have weapons that are equally effective against enemy infantry as they are against rampaging monsters and heavily armoured vehicles. So they have some pretty cool plasma weapons mostly, which are damn good and look really, really cool, which is really, really good to see as well. Then we have a story, Into the Swarm. So on a world besieged by terrifying tyrannid bioforms, a Blood Angel strike force engages in a brutal, bloody battle to turn back the swarming tides of Varanus Xenos invaders. So the Blood Angels, if you don't know, are red armoured. They are pretty cool. They are the sons of Baal, and yeah, very different, but they're pretty cool. And their armour looks really, really good as well, which is always really nice to see. The story is pretty cool itself, definitely worth a read, and it's always nice to see some more stories in the magazine, because we have been missing a few of them, and we haven't had as many as we did with, say, like Mortal Realms so far. Then you got your How to Paint the Necron Warriors. You're going to be fine, in all honesty. Paint them up the same way as you have before. We've already had 16 of these, so you can't go wrong. Have a bit of fun with it, paint them up, and yeah, I'm sure you'll get some really, really cool looking bits and pieces as well. But yeah, easily done. Then we get more of our core rules. So this is all about dice. So you have a D6, D3s, and much, much more kind of rules. So your D3 is literally a D6. Whatever you roll, you divide it by 2. Simple as. So a lot of information about everything like that, and also your re-rolls as well. So some rules allow re-rolls. Definitely worth a read, because these are your more advanced rule sets for 40k, which are your standard rule sets for main games. So if you are going to play against other people, and you're not just going for learning games and you want to play in tournaments or anything like that, you are going to need to know at least the basics of these rules, and definitely worth a read through. as well. And of course, a bit more other bits and pieces. So sometimes you'll have roll-offs, which both players roll a d6 and the highest wins. If it's a tie, you roll again. Simple as. Then we have a breakdown of how data sheets work. So, which are essentially your war scrolls for if you are more into your Age of Sigmar or anything like that. So they break down in a very much similar way as well. So yeah. And talking to data sheets, we get a data sheet for a librarian, infobus, armor, and the aggressor squads here, which are pretty cool. So you can see your movement range, the wounds, attack, everything like that. Pretty damn cool. And it'll break it down all on here for you as well. So, which is the main thing, including everything, including range, which is the main thing with this, and all your different weapons and kind of your abilities as well are on each data sheet. Then you get your tutorial of how to utilize certain things, including the camo cloak, which is very, very handy for anybody in Phobos armor, which is damn cool. And then we also have our mission for the week, which is extraction. So you are using your Canoptech Spider, 6 Scarab Swarms and 5 Immortals, going up against 1 Librarian and 3 Aggressors, using your battle mat and some of your scenery, so 2 of your containers, all your ammo crates, all your barrels, and the Heliotrope reactor for the centre as well. So it's a progressive objective, so Necrons continue to press towards the crash site. The Space Marines must protect the downed flyer and prevent the Necrons from overrunning their position, and the battle lasts for 5 rounds. So enjoy, have a bit of fun with it, and it's a pretty good one. With this week's issue, we also get a bit of a pullout as well, though, which is all to do with the war zones as well. So we get the war zone Amenhotep 2. We have the forces on each side, so the awakened Necrons of a Sotek dynasty, and their look, which is pretty damn cool. And on the other side, we get the Adeptus Mechanicus, who have an armoured knight, which is pretty damn cool. They are pretty cool units anyway, and really, really nice models to look at. And I expect to paint as well, which one day I might have to pick one up and have a go through it. But we get a bit more information as well. So there is the War for the Blackstone. So the Blackstone, of course, being a highly important substance, which is known as Noctilith, or Blackstone, which is commonly low Gothic, which came clear in the Great Rift as well. And yeah, it's utilised by everybody. It has some psychic abilities, it has some unusual properties. The Necrons know more about it than the humans do, but pretty much everybody wants it. But really, really cool stuff on there as well. So pretty worth a read on that if you want to know more about the different war zones in the 41st millennium. Talking of the war zones, they are of course moving on the kind of campaign and chapter, and it's now the Nachmund war zone. So it has advanced a little bit more from there, but it's giving information about one of the older ones, which is pretty damn cool. Next week we get issue 30, and we get Mephiston Red, and we get Mournfang Brown. We get some new data sheets. Yeah, it is what it is. It's not too bad. Yeah, not a bad issue. Issue 31, we get some more terrain though. We get the storage vein, so we get some new scenery, which is one of the ruined buildings. So we'll get new rules to do with those as well. We'll also get information about painting the terrain. In all honesty, paint it how you want, entirely up to you, how you want to go about doing it. We'll also get more cool rules as well in the issue. So, a lot of stuff to look forward to, a lot of really cool issues to come up, and yeah, some really good stuff. So the magazine's in a good place right now, and hopefully it continues. Right, I'm going to leave you all to it. Thank you very, very much for watching, and I'll catch you sometime soon. Bye-bye now.